Okay, going live.
And we're back. It's 7:20 a.m., 101.5 FM, Shades of Green on KDWN. We have Vanessa Portillo and Bryan Cabble from Garden Farms in studio. We got a lot to cover this last segment. We're going to really quick talk about squash bugs.
The bane of our existence.
The bane of our existence. Tell us.
All right. Well, so I've been drawing up a little thing to make up for our farmers and everything. So there's two basic pages I have. There's one for prevention and then one for control. So I'm going to try and burn through this if I can real quick.
We got 2 minutes.
All right. So first thing is companion plants or farmscaping. So making a shelter belt and encouraging beneficial insects or planting certain herbs or flowers that help fight against squash bugs. So tansy is supposed to be the best one, and we're starting to try that now. It's also a potentially toxic flower, so don't do it around kids. Nasturtium, white icicle radish, catnip, which is a form of mint, so be careful.
How about that?
Those are supposed to be the best. And then oregano, marigold, calendula, dill, and mint can also help out as well. You're really just trying to attract beneficial insects like taconid flies or parasitic wasps, or if you're mulching, you've got ground beetles that might crawl up and eat some of the eggs, and then damsel and big-eye bugs will actually eat the nymphs, but once they're adults, it's just hand-picking. You just got to hand-pick everything. So you can try and stage out your growing of squash to try and go early, start your own starts in the house, and then put them out after the plants are well established so they're not as vulnerable to attacks, or plant them late in the season where you've already tried to attract the squash bugs to other crops that specific squashes that they really love, and then you just gather them all up and burn them with fire or something, and then plant afterwards. So a good trap crop is what we call that, or a sacrificial plant, is blue Hubbard squash. You could also try covering everything. You know, it's just like we were talking about with the PVC or the reinforcement ladder, throwing over a row cover so it still allows quite a bit of sunlight and rain to come through. They call them resistant varieties. That's so anything in like the cucurbit moschata, so like butternut squash or royal acorn or cheese squashes, but they're still going to get attacked because they're the worst.
Yeah. Is that just local for this region that they're...
Well, this is for everywhere.
Everywhere,
I
okay.
mean, these are all the different strategies we're trying. Plant plenty of extra plants because they're going to come. They're just going to hit stuff, so let them wipe out a couple things.
And what do they look like? I haven't seen one.
So they're in like the leaf-footed family. So they're like kind of like a grayish brownish, and you squish them and they stink, and it's
they're smelly.
They have a shield on their back.
And they're good at kind of rotating around. So the best way, once you do have them, the best way to start getting rid of them is you throw some water down, and they'll all migrate up to the top leaves. So then you pick them then. And then a couple of the controls when you already do have them, if you're going out every day and hand picking, you've got some success. Or like we talked about peppermint oil earlier, you could put together a little spray with essential oil, peppermint oil, some garlic or chili, maybe even some neem oil as well. Comes from a natural nut tree, and you could just spray it on the plants, drench it into your soil, especially if you've got neem in there, because then that affects them.
Neem oil.
It is a tree nut, so if you have a tree nut allergy,
be careful with that.
And you spray the leaves also, basically?
Well, if you're doing the neem, you're looking more for a drench. So you're watering them real good with the neem, and the plant draws it up. So then they don't want to suck the juice out of the plant because they don't like that taste, and it negatively impacts them physiologically as well.
Well, in the early days when I first started gardening, I read a lot about Mother Earth News, and what they recommend is you pick the bugs, kill them, dry them into a powder, and then shake the powder back onto the plants.
And that's actually that comes from biodynamic farming, which started out in France, where they fill a cow's horn with manure and bury it under a certain moon. But all the things that they do are they have a basis in science.
I've done that.
Yeah. So outside of that, there's scientific reasons why those things work, and it's a good deterrent. I think the best one, and maybe the reason to buy a shop vac, is just for this. You get a shop vac, you go out and just suck those guys up.
Vacuum them up.
Just put a little bit of water and soap in your shop vac and just suck them all up and just hit it. I mean, they can go through, if you're reading, they say 1 or 2 generations in a season. For us, with our season so long, it's 5 or 6.
Wow.
Oh my God. So I have not had a problem with them, but I guess they're here for sure.
looking for their eggs too is important. They have like a bronze-colored eggs.
Usually packs of about a dozen or so,
Yeah.
and usually they're on the underside of the leaf. All last year they laid it on the top side of the leaf, which was great, and now this year they're doing both.
Oh wow! So they're trying to adapt here.
They're getting smart.
They're getting funky.
Okay, moving right along, we want to talk about your seed bank.
Yeah, so we've gotten we have the nonprofit foundation. We've gotten some contributions from different seed companies. So Seed Savers Exchange, Native Seed Search, a couple other companies. So we maintain a library of seeds where, if we're doing events where we have a table at an event, we'll package them up in little packets that we made. We could throw our logo on it, and just give information on the back side of it. So you can have some things to sample. And, if you end up growing them out and you want to bring some back, that's great. Our farmers are always harvesting different things. So we've got like marigold seed.
That's great.
We've got some
Could
radish, all
be
stuff that
harvested,
has already grown here. So it's going to
Exactly,
be
so
that
it's
much more
adapted.
successful.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
To
low
grow
price.
here.
Yeah.
Now, marigolds are kind of a given, aren't they?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
they're cake. I always have like marigolds in a pocket somewhere. Because if I
Throw
see
them
them,
out
I
like
grab
Johnny
them.
Appleseed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Marigolds all over the valley. Good. Where do we find this seed bank? How do we come and get the seeds?
Well, if we're just at an event, we'll have some. Or if you feel like getting a hold of us, and you're looking for something in particular, or if you're just like, hey, what's something interesting, then we're more than happy to give you an idea on certain things to do. So there's one crop called the tepary bean, which is like a drought resistant. You could just throw it out in the desert and it grows.
Huh.
And so, but you don't want to grow it around other beans because it does carry a certain virus. So there's certain tips and tricks and things that we'll let you know about the seeds as well too.
It's definitely different growing in the valley, isn't it? Then we wanted to talk about getting ready for winter.
Well, winter's the best. Like fall garden is the best. So we still have
That's
all of
really-
our warm season crops like the tomatoes, chilies, eggplants, and those are going to produce all the way into December when we get a frost. Or in some cases, you can nurse them through the winter if you protect them or you have the right microclimate. Plus, we get all of our greens, lettuces, root crops, all that good stuff. So, like, I absolutely love the cool weather season, is what I call
Yeah,
it.
it's the best. It's the best time to grow. We want to. Did you have something else there? You were.
Oh, so yeah, one of the places that we're usually at is called the Market in the Alley. It's downtown, Fremont Street and 11th. It's the alleyway that leads to the bunkhouse. They have a monthly farmers and makers market.
Good.
And so we'll grab some stuff from a community garden and come out and give free produce. It's better than organic produce. It's downtown.
When are you there?
It's the third Sunday of the month, and they just kicked it over. It's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But once it cools down again, they'll go back to noon to 4. I would
Third
imagine.
Sunday.
Third Sunday of the month.
So
What time?
generally have veggies there, fresh harvest, and also some seeds from our seed banks.
So it's with the Fergusons downtown, that the old Fergusons motel that they're redoing to be really cool. So it's those folks who put it on. It's called Market in the Alley.
That's great.
Market in the Alley. Third Sunday downtown. Come and get your free veggies, seeds, and whatnot.
and
We don't want to get out of here without letting people know that next week is SNWA. We have Toby Bickmore and Doug Bennett coming to talk. SNWA's increased their rebate for turf removal, and we've got a major issue coming up with Lake Mead, and you're not going to want to miss next week because we're running out of water, folks. Join us next week on KDWN 720 and 101.5 FM on Shades of Green, and keep it green out there.